Hey there, and welcome to this lesson on expressions. This one, we're talking about time. And what is time as an expression? Well, time is essentially like an engine. It can run things, it can move things just like an engine would. So here I've got another simple box. I've got the X and Y position separated, and the Y position I've got moved down here. Let's say we're gonna move it down here 1,000 pixels. Okay. And for time, we're gonna again click Alter Option on the stopwatch, and we're gonna say time. Okay, and then we're gonna say time times, just like multiplying times, and then whatever it is. So let's just say 1,000 pixels. So we're at negative 1,000 now. We want to move it positively 1,000. So you see there it is. So what happens is the engine is making it move 1,000 pixels over time. Okay, so it's kind of, it took me a little while to wrap my head around this. Maybe a easier example to understand would be something like if I bring this back up to the center here, 540, and let's do rotation. So let's just hit R for rotation, so that's all we see. And we're gonna do time times 360 because we want it to revolve, we want it to rotate 360 degrees. Okay, well, what it's doing now is it's saying every 1 second it's revolving 360 degrees. So from here to here, it's 360 degrees. From here to here, it's 360 degrees. So we're at 4 seconds. So if we want this to be 360 degree turn over the course of the entire composition and we want it to loop, how do we do that? Well, it's really easy. All we have to do is divide this by 4 seconds. Now watch what happens. Now we have a complete 360 degree rotation over 4 seconds, and it loops. So that's a simple way of understanding time. It's like an engine. You can go very deep in this. You could use time to move the position, to move the rotation, all that kind of stuff. So now let's take a look at a different type of example you can use time for. So this is one where we're using fractal noise, and I've got it set up here, but I'm gonna go ahead and recreate these. So I'm gonna take my horizontal lines, I'm going to reset this. So what can we do with fractal noise? Well, if you're a motion designer, if you've been around for a little while, you know what fractal noise can do. If you're brand new to After Effects, and maybe you are, and that's why you're here, fractal noise can do so much. It is one of the most powerful effects plugins inside of After Effects, and I use it all the time. So let me give you an example of what we could do here. So we're going to leave it on the basic settings. We're going to change it from soft linear to block. We're going to turn off uniform scaling. We're going to make the height very narrow. We'll set it to 1. We're going to take the width way up, make this thing super wide. Then we're going to take the complexity down to get rid of these lines here that are vertical. And we'll just keep going down, 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 down until they're gone. There they are, they're gone. Now, if I preview this, nothing happens, right? That's the thing with fractal noise. Nothing happens until you tell it what to do. Well, we can use time to tell it what to do. So under evolution here, if I was to stop this, and if I move evolution, you can see things are moving, right? Because I'm making this little angle control move, and it's making my fractal noise move. Well, I can use time by Alter Option clicking here, or I could click down here as well. And I can just type in time times any value I want. So again, we'll do 1,000, hit enter, and look at that. We've got moving. It looks almost like a moving noise, like a analog, like a video noise, just created from fractal noise and a simple time engine expression. Now, if I was to reset this back to the basic fractal noise, you can see time is still making it do things. It's moving around. It almost looks kind of like busy bees on a hive out of focus. So time here is running the fractal noise engine. I'll do one more quick example here. This is called dust. And again, we're back to the basic setup. This is reset. We're going to bump the contrast way up to 1,000. We're going to take the brightness to -400. And there you go. So this looks just like dust on a film, like an old film sprocket, right? or film reel, but it's not moving. So how do we make it move? Well, it's the same thing. We could go here to the evolution and make it move, but then it looks like it's just kind of fading in and out, which could work at a high rate, but we could also go into our random seed here, right? And you can see random seed makes it look more like it's moving film grain. So let me just add Alter Option click here on random seed, and let's go down here and do time times, let's do 500 this time. Enter, and there we go. That's really fast moving noise, or I'm sorry, grain or dust. We could also increase the amount here and make it grain. So let's go down to a lower number like 5. And it almost looks more like a stop motion type feel to it. 50 works for me. So there we go. There's a very simple example again of how to use fractal noise with the time expression to build some interesting looking assets for your motion design. Okay, so now let me show you an example where we're going to use time as an engine, but we're also going to posterize that time and give it kind of like a stop motion-y feel. So what we're going to do here is we've got a null in the center of our screen, and we've got a shape layer down here at the bottom. Right now, if I preview, nothing's happening. But the first thing I want to do is I want to drive this null so that it rotates around, okay? And I want the box to follow that null. So we're going to parent the box to the null, okay? And we're going to hit R for rotation. And you know that if I set keyframes here, I can set a keyframe at 0, and I can go to the end of my timeline. And let's say we want it to revolve 1 time. And there we go. So the box is rotating around the null, and we've got a perfect loop there happening, okay? So how can we do this without setting keyframes? Well, we can turn off the keyframes. We can Alter Option click on rotation. We can do the same thing. Time times 360 degrees divided by 4, because this is a 4-second comp. And now with no keyframes, we've got a box that rotates around the null. If we wanted to use a posterized time effect and make this look like it's stop motion, you can see how it's very smooth right now, right? Everything, it's rotating around very smoothly. So a really cool thing with time is that you can do like a stop motion effect with any asset, and that's by just typing in posterize time, and then we do parentheses, and then this is where we add in what we want our frame rate to be. So I'll do 6 for a frame rate of 6, and then we need to separate these two pieces of code of the expression, and we'll do that with just a semicolon, and we'll hit enter and watch what happens. The box is now still rotating 360 degrees perfectly in this composition, but it's moving at a frame rate of 6 frames per second, very stop motion like. I could also change this to something like 12. It's a little less steppy. We could even do something as low as 3. Very steppy. Right, and if we wanted it to meet, rotate at twice, 360 degrees twice in this 4 seconds, we could divide it by 2, and there we go. So you get the idea. So now let me show you one more example here with how you could use posterized time in an interesting way, using animation with an image here. So I've got a penny here that I'm going to set a keyframe for, and I'm just going to bring that penny up. Maybe we'll take it off screen here. So we'll start up there, and I want the penny to end down here. And instead of just moving straight across the screen like this, I'm going to add some handles to this. I'm going to hit G on my keyboard, and I'm going to bring out a handle, maybe something like this, and a handle down here, something like this. And let's actually add a keyframe here in the middle. And let's just have it do something kind of different. So let's see what this looks like here. So it's a very smooth looking motion, not too exciting. But if I add the posterized effect, time effect to this now, it's going to look totally different. So how do I do that? Well, I'm going to Option or Alt click I'll type in posterize time. And let's do something like 6 frames per second. We're going to, what's different about posterize time is we have to put a colon there, but we also have to now specify that we want it to recognize the values that are happening already. So we just have to type in the word value, okay? And by typing that value word in, it's gonna recognize the value of whatever it is in our composition. It could be the value of the Y position, it could be the value of the X and Y. If this was on rotation, it would be the value of whatever the rotation was set to at that time. So there we go. So now we have 6 frames per second of a penny, okay, moving across the screen. So now let's make it even more interesting. Let's go on the rotation value of the notebook. And let's just type in a wiggle expression that we've learned about. And we'll do something like 10, 30. Let's see what that looks like. So the paper's moving. It's very hectic, but it definitely doesn't look like it's part of this penny animation now, but it's really easy to fix this. And that's just by clicking inside the expression here. And the wiggle expression is now our value, okay? So that is our value. That is what's happening in the animation. So if I'll put the semicolon before that wiggle, and then I can set my posterized time here, just like before, and we'll do 6, and we'll click outside. And now we have our paper moving as well in a rotational sense with posterized time. So just a few examples of what you can do with the time expression inside of After Effects. Next, we're going to move on to the looping expression.